All right. Hello, hello. How's everybody doing today? Let's just put that on. All right. So today, welcome everybody to the stream. First off, hope you guys are doing well today. What we'll be doing today is playing a little bit of Hitman without a GPU. Now, I've done it before, right? I've played a little bit of games without the GPU. The first game that I did try was Hitman, and that was a number of weeks ago. And I also gave Guild Wars 2 a bit of a shot. So it's not the first time that we'll necessarily be gaming without a GPU. But the main draw of today's stream is that we'll also be trying to attempt a speed run or, do some fast strats, willingly playing without a GPU. Brave man, exactly. Thank you, Shanaha. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Hope you're doing well today. But yeah, we've played a few games without it, and the reason why it works is because AMD has released an APU, and what that is that's like a CPU chip, but then it's got integrated graphics, right? And so when you think of integrated graphics, you mostly think about like Intel, right? Intel's been in the game for a long time. They've had, the best CPUs for a long time as well. And then so they have integrated graphics chips, but usually like it's just enough to just to watch YouTube, just to watch YouTube and just do basic things. You can't really play games on them. Welcome Kimmy. Welcome. How are you doing today? I was actually lurking your stream earlier. You were playing Dead Space. But good to see you here. Hopefully you're not too tired. But yeah, like when most people think about integrated graphics, they think about Intel, right? And the integrated graphics on the Intel CPUs aren't very good. Yes, I'm doing well, just winding down for bed. Oh, that's cool. Hopefully you get, the kind of sleep that you need. But thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. Thank you. But yeah, AMD has released a new line of CPUs recently. I think it came out like in the last few months, right? And they released two CPUs. Do I still have the image for it? I don't even know if I do. Maybe I don't. But they released two CPUs and they have integrated graphics. And the integrated graphics, the draw is that the integrated graphics are pretty powerful this time around. And they are capable of playing some games at, relatively okay settings. Oh, I have a Ryzen APU myself. Which one are you going to be using? So you do have an APU, Shanahan. Nice. So this is not the first line of APUs that AMD has released. I mean, if we want to go into the history of APUs, right? Back when Intel was still dominant, so this is a little bit of a history lesson or a little bit of a background context, right? When Intel was still dominant in the CPU space, I believe it was around the time that they had first released their Core I architecture, and this was back in like 2008, 2009, potentially 2010, 2011. AMD started marketing something what they called Fusion, and it was the idea that you could, have a graphics card and a CPU on the same chip and then have it work, as like a whole, sort of system on chip, kind of design. And they initially called their offerings APUs, and that's accelerated processing unit, and that's supposed to be a combined CPU and GPU architecture. However, AMD has been, obviously, if you want to implement both graphics and CPU onto the same chip, you're not going to necessarily get the same performance as like a dedicated CPU or like a dedicated GPU. The APU I'll be using today is the newly released Ryzen 5600G, and so that's a 6-core processor, and I don't remember how many GPU cores there are on it. I think it's like 8 or something like that. But it is one of the new ones, which means that it will take advantage of the new Zen 3 architecture, which is supposedly the best architecture right now, at least for AMD. And in a previous stream, I've gone over the differences between why the Zen 3 APU is not necessarily the same as the Zen 3 CPU, and unfortunately I don't think I have, hold on a second, I don't think I have all the graphs saved, but I mean, I guess we can try and explain it, you know. Let's see, what is it supposed to be? Window capture painting. Okay, here we. Oh, that's maybe a bit too big. Let's didn't mean it for that big. All right. Still a bit too big. There we go. Let's say something like this, right? And so if we take a look, let's say this is an AMD APU, and then this is an AMD CPU. And then so what they've done in order to accommodate having like enough space for a graphics processor, let's say, what that means is that they have reduced on the amount of cache, right? And so let's say this is like, this is not how it actually looks like, but this is just a representation, right? If you close your eyes and just pretend it's true, then it's true, you know? But this is not how it looks like necessarily. But then let's just say this is how it would be represented, right? Because the AMD APUs have half the amount of cache that the proper CPUs have. And so I will eventually get to a point with all of this integrated GPU. Oh my god, why is that so? That's too big. That's too big. Let's make that a little bit smaller, shall we? 26 is fine. Yep. And then we can just move that like there. And so what happens is that the performance of the proper CPU is slightly higher than the APU, and I think it's to the extent of like, it's like 10% better, 10 to 15% more performance, because this is the pure CPU. This is the pure CPU, and you don't have to worry about sharing the cache space with the integrated GPU. But that said, the fact that it has an integrated GPU means that it can actually play games, right? It can run graphics, it can play games. You don't need to buy an expensive $1,000 GPU that's flooding the market right now, you know? Or no, actually it's the opposite of flooding the market, because, you know, you can only get them from scalpers who are selling them at twice their recommended retail price. And so this is the value, because the CPU performance is good enough, right? Because you don't necessarily need the best of the best in order to play games, right? I mean, we're VTubers, right? Like, we watch VTubers. What games do VTubers play? Genshin Impact, you know, Minecraft, Apex Legends. You don't need cutting edge. You don't need cutting edge hardware for those sorts of games, you know? So as long as the performance is good enough, then there's still value in the APUs because of the integrated GPU. And so the whole point of this is just to investigate whether it's still possible to play modern games without needing a GPU, just because graphics cards are so expensive right now. And I hope that if like at least one person out there finds some kind of value in this in terms of making their own purchasing decisions, or, you know, if the content's at least fun to watch, then I'll have done my job. Then I'll have done my job. So I'm pretty happy with the system so far. But yeah, it's a 5600G Shanaha. And it's one of the new ones, and it's 6 cores and 12 threads. And so I think that that's more than good enough for the majority of modern games. There's a higher level one. So let's go over. So 5600G is like 6 cores, 12 threads. And then there's also a 5700G model, which is 8 cores and 16 threads. And that particular model is mucho expensive. It's very expensive. I don't have the money to spare for that. I mean, at the end of the day, this is all just like, I don't want to admit this. This is all like me spending money on stuff I don't necessarily need for myself. You know, like people talk about how, you know, VTubing is an expensive hobby. No, VTubing is not an expensive hobby in comparison to buying unnecessary PC components, right? Like, you know, you say, oh, I dropped an Aka Super on my favorite HoloLive streamer or whatever, or I you know, put together a $50 dono, you know, for my Oshi on Twitch, right? No, that's not the same, because you buy one of these parts, you're down like a fucking, you know, $500 or whatever. So this is, well, it's not that expensive, but like, buying PC parts, putting together PC stuff as a hobby gets pretty expensive, especially once you go down the rabbit hole of like artisan stuff. So the common one that people are familiar with, I guess, is like keyboards, right? Once you get into like the whole rabbit hole of custom keyboards and like artisan keyboards, it's like $300 for some clickety clack. You know, that's when it gets to the point of ridiculousness. And so even though being a VTuber fan can be, pretty expensive, there are a lot of expensive hobbies out there. I think that being a PC enthusiast is surprisingly expensive. Is surprisingly expensive, and I'm not necessarily sure if as a PC enthusiast, I'm not necessarily sure if I can advocate the hobby to anybody watching, but I will say that it is quite fun for me. It is quite fun for me. So, with all that said, actually, before we get right into it, let's hop into gaming, because we are gaming today, chat. We are gaming, but before we do so, I do want to just give an example of like what I'm actually doing here. Oh no, my programs. Oh no. So, actually, can we cut this? Who cares? Who cares if it's cut off? You will see my Windows taskbar and you will like it. You will see the fucking notification in the corner and you will enjoy it. There we go. So we're using CapFrame X today in order to capture a lot of the frame data. So when I say that we're gonna review, you need to update your Windows. No. I will stay on my 2019 Windows forever, Shanaha, and there's nothing you can do about it. Okay, but yeah, I'll be using CapFrame X, and it's a software that captures like frame rate data and other telemetry. So when I say that I'm going to review, right, when I'm going to review the performance of this APU for this game, I don't mean it in just like looking at it by eye. We're going to be capturing a lot of data, and then we'll be going through some graphs later. Hopefully we'll get like a base idea of what the performance is like, because it will be drawn out here for everybody to look at, and maybe potentially we can pinpoint outliers, right? So if there's like a specific moment that causes stutter, if there's a particular area that's like really high in FPS, really high in FPS compared to others, we can at least say, okay, it's because of this, or it's because of that. This was happening in the game, and that's what led to that. And so the whole idea behind this is, just to objectively measure how well the game performs beyond just having an average FPS number. Because the thing is, like, when you see people do benchmarks, mostly what people look at is like the average FPS, right? So like, oh, my game runs at so and so frames. And to some extent, like, that's useful, but to another extent, it's kind of not that useful, because the thing is, once you reach a certain level of performance, people tend to care more about the outliers. And what I mean by that is, for example, if you have a game that runs at like 50 FPS, right? Or like, let's say 60. 60 is a nice round number. It runs at 60 FPS, but then it stutters a lot. So the FPS tanks, for half, like for like a quarter of a second, right? And then it goes back up. And then it goes down again, and then it goes back up. The average will still say, it's like 55, it's like 60 FPS. And then so that's misleading, because even though the average FPS is high, the experience due to all the stutters is actually quite bad. And so you'd rather have an experience where the average frames are lower, but more consistent. And so I'm hoping that this software can sort of grab all of the necessary data and allow us to sort of analyze and to see if that's happening in this particular game. I will say that in testing, just as a preamble, I did a little bit of testing with this particular game, and like half my strats don't fucking work anymore, because I learned how to, like, I learned certain strats on how to play Hitman fairly quickly. But then what happened is that when you play at a certain amount of FPS, like, my strategies don't go so well. I'm used to I'm used to doing it on my main computer where I have, a consistent frame rate and, no frame drops and stuff like that. So this may be a little bit sketchy, but you know what? Actually, before we do anything else, we'll just go to the graphics because I want to show you guys what level of graphics we are currently playing at. And so that gives you an idea of, how well the game operates at this particular moment, with these settings. And so what we can do later in the stream, if I mess up, a little bit too much and I get tilted, we can play around with the settings a little bit so I can pretend that I still have, something to offer you guys. But yeah, so these are the settings. I want to try, first and foremost, I want to try at 1080p. And the reason why I wanted to try at 1080p is because it's the most popular resolution. Most monitors out there for gamers are still 1080p, even after how many years? Like 1080p first came to prominence like a decade ago, but it's still the most popular resolution. So I think that this is the most relevant resolution to test at. But as you can see with everything else, I've just put it like as low as possible, because beyond getting the resolution, all I really care about is getting as much performance as possible. And so we'll see if 1080p is workable with this particular game. There are other games, and so if you enjoy this, if you enjoy the stream, and as it happens, like you enjoy what you're seeing, I will try other games like this. This is not just Hitman. This is not just a one-time thing. I do want to do these kinds of streams, maybe once every 1 to 2 weeks, and I know that Monster Hunter Rise, the demo for that, is coming out soon. So I think that may be the next target, but for the time being, we are playing Hitman today, guys. We're playing Hitman today. So let's give it a shot, and we'll. Oh no, the showstopper, but the show just began. All right, let's get into it. Because Hitman apparently has a story. Did you guys know that? I didn't. I really didn't. But yeah, we can get right into it, and we start with Paris, and I will be running some. They're not necessarily the fastest strats around, but they are some, fast-ish strats. I like to call it turtle jogging, because as a turtle, I can't really run, guys. It's a, it's a medical condition. It's a biological condition. I can't help it. But let's get right into it. We can see here, the tracking program seems to be working properly because it's ready to capture. We can see our current FPS. It's like 100 FPS, but we're just in the menu, so this doesn't really matter. Too slow, Kimmy, please. No bully. I try my best, But yeah, let's actually just get right into it. So we have our two targets, Victor Novikov and Dalia Morgolis. Do we want to watch the briefing? Yes, it's content. Watching cinematics is content, right? Oh, wait. You guys got to let me know. Is the audio working okay? You guys got to let me know. Because I'm not 100% sure if I was able to get the audio for this working. Who made these games? So it's a Swedish studio. It's like IO Interactive, I believe. Oh, there is none? Oh, okay. Hold on. If that's the case, if there is none, okay, that's a little unfortunate. I'm surprised. If there is none, hold on. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so as to who made these games, it's a development studio based in Sweden called IO Interactive. And essentially what they've been doing, I think the audio is working now. Let's just test. But they've been making Hitman games for like 20 years. Like literally 20 years? Let's take a look. Hitman Codename 47 was the first game. Codename 47. And that game came out in the year 2000. So 21 years. 21 years, Kimmy. And they've been making Hitman games like non-stop. They make other games. And right now, they've stopped working on the Hitman franchise to work on their next project, which is a James Bond game. So that's going to be really interesting. If we ever get to Hitman 3, I can go over like some moments and some levels. when I can go over some moments and some levels where it really makes it obvious that the developers are actually trying to tailor the level design and the cinematic moments to try and fit more in line with what a Bond game could potentially be. And I think it's very cool. I think it's very cool. I do like Hitman 3, like the campaign for it. There's one level at the end that I really don't like, but overall, I really enjoy the different levels. And I think that the level design and the sandbox elements in this game or in this series is really the strength of IO. When you can corner your niche, you might as well. Exactly. That's 100% correct. I mean, you don't need to fix what's not broken, and clearly the developers have been enjoying what they're doing. Morning JP. How are you going? We haven't started yet. I just wanted to get a test on the audio because I haven't gotten it working. So is the audio working now? It doesn't look like it is from my end. If not, then we can just we can do a silent run. Can we do a silent run? Oh, this is not what I expected at all. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I am extremely apologetic, but I hope you can be patient with me. Maybe what we can do... Yeah, I've got gain on. I guess it's just not picking up the audio. What we can do... is I can just put my BGM and we can pretend, right? We can pretend. I'm good at Oh shit! I'm good at pretending, and I hope you guys are too. We can pretend that this is the in-game audio of Hitman, right? But how are you going, JP? Welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it. If that's the case, we still have subtitles, and so the idea is that we are infiltrating a fashion show in a wonderful Paris. Oh my god! Hello, mouse. Yeah, we are infiltrating a fashion show in Paris, and the idea is that we're supposed to take out these two targets. Number one is Viktor Novikov, who's like a fashion mogul, and Dalia Morgolis is a former model. And the reason we need to take out these two targets, is because they are actually holding a black market auction, and they are trying to sell some MI6 information. It's like a knock list, a list of NI6 agents. My cam disc... Oh no, you're right. Oh no. Wait. Ah, jeez. That's unfortunate. But thank you for pointing that out, Kimmy. I do appreciate it, because I actually wouldn't have noticed. So thank you for pointing that out. Wait, hold on. Why is it not connecting? Oh no. What's going on? Okay. It's shitting itself. Oh no, it can't handle it. Okay, hold on. Just give me a second. Give me 1 minute. I'll be right back. Apologies in advance. I'll be right back. This face. Oh my god. No. You're right, Kimmy. I'll be right back. Yay! We did it, guys. We did it. We stopped the evil rays and we made a new friend. Fantastic. I'm just gonna... I don't think there's anything actually here to pick up. Yeah, there's nothing there. Alright, there's nothing there. So there's no point going through all of that. We can just make our way back to town. Okay, wait. I'm gonna try and find the... There was like a caravan in here from memory. So if we can get the caravan... Yes, here we go. If we can get the caravan, we don't have to worry about like the geyser stuff. Welcome to our burrow. Beeline burrow. Here we go. And then they got the caravan on the side. Oh my god. The way you get dumped like that is very amusing. Very amusing. I will always enjoy the way that your character just gets turfed there as if they carded, you know? Very cool. Alright. Oh, the village chief is there. Man, you know what? Alright, I think we should be back. There we go. Alright, thank you. Thank you for letting me know, Kimmy. I do appreciate it. But yeah, that's the whole story here. The idea is that we need to take out these two targets. Because they are selling secrets. I just woke up and didn't notice, still kind of out of it. No worries, JP. No worries. I appreciate you waking up and coming to the stream. Really appreciate it. All right, let's get into it. I'm going to try and explain what I'm doing here, but it may come off really, really bad and really, really awkward. But yeah, we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. All right. So I'm just gonna skip like the opening thing. And so the idea here is that there's a particular event. There's a particular event that can draw our 2 targets into the same area. And so we're just going to go ahead and trigger that. So our first target is up there. You can see the spotlight on him. That's Viktor Novikov. And he's going to come down and like this is a whole room full of people. So there's no point in going for him right now. What we're going to do, I don't know how or why, but somebody apparently left their ID in the bathroom. And so we're going to take advantage of that because the ID is a passway into the auction itself, you know, into the black market auction. And so we're just going to make our way to the auction area. But on the way up there, we're going to trigger a specific event that will line up our targets. And so we just come here and then we get ourselves checked and frisked down simply because, you know, this is a restricted area and we're not necessarily allowed in here. But because we swiped someone's card from the toilet, then we can go through. And then there's like another checkpoint here. Show invitation. Am I? Well, whatever. Wait. Hold on. No, everything's fine. Wait. Yeah, everything's fine. I thought that my my live 2D went spazzed again, but it's fine. It's fine. So what we need to do here is trigger the event, and the event is like a fireworks thing. And so what's going to be happening is that there's going to, like, the NPCs are going to be talking there. And so we're just going to sneak past them and then make our way into like the production area. And there's like a guard here and there's like a technician here. And we're going to turn on this particular rack, and then that will get his attention. And we're just going to hide behind here. And what's going to happen is that that technician is going to take a look at the machine to see if it's broken. It's not broken. And then as that guard turns away, we're gonna give him a little bit of love, you know, give him a little bit of love, and he's a little puckered out, and so he can take a nice little nap where he won't disturb the rest of the people here. And so what we can do is we can freely take this. It's a remote control to detonate some fireworks prematurely. And so once the fireworks are triggered, then what will happen is that our 2 targets will run up and line up together because they want to see the fireworks. I mean, who doesn't want to see fireworks, guys? Who doesn't want to see fireworks? All right, so we're getting frisked down here simply because this is another restricted area and they want to make sure that we don't have any weapons. Now, thankfully, we actually don't need any weapons, right? Because I'm going to show you the most powerful weapon known to man. Because you may have thought, like, I don't have my gun. I don't have anything to hurt them with. See, here's the other target, Dahlia Morghulis, and then we can take a look here. I can't remember what the river is, but this is like, you know, a nice view of Paris, right? Unfortunately, because we're playing without a GPU, it's, you know, the water looks kind of muddy, but you know what? I think this is still fine, right? Like, it still looks good enough. It still looks good enough. No, it didn't spaz. It was all me. No. Okay, so the strongest weapon known to man is woman. So we push her from the balcony and she lands on our other target, and that allows us to take both targets out at the same time. There we go. That's the most powerful weapon known to man is woman. There we go. And so we've eliminated both our targets at the same time, so we can just leave the level at our leisure. We can just leave the level at our leisure, and that's it. That's it. Right? It sounds pretty simple. It actually sounds, and it looks pretty simple. And it is, because this is the easiest level to beat in Hitman 1. And this is probably the only level that I can do flawlessly. No one noticed? Yes. No one noticed at all. They were too busy distracted by the fireworks, Kimmy. But, oh, okay. So another thing to note, right? The number one tip I would recommend for anybody playing Hitman, if they want to, you know, do some kills, and if they want to, you know, get good at the game and like understand the mechanics, the number one tip that I have for everybody who plays this game is that you can't think of these NPCs as people. These NPCs are not people, you know? There are They're not people. They're more akin to me. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that on stream. That's a bit mean. That's a bit mean. I was gonna say they're a bit more akin to something else, you know, but I shouldn't say that. But no, you can't think of them as people because the way that the NPCs work in this game is that they really, really lack awareness and they lack like object permanence. So, for example, even if you do something bad and then they spot you, like that's, well, obviously that didn't happen this time around, but even if you do something bad and they do spot you, what tends to happen is that if you run away for long enough and, you know, you hide, then they just forget about you and it's like nothing ever happened, right? All right, you guys can't hear, so there's no point. There's no point. So we go to the next mission. Jeez, that was quick. That was quick. That took less than 5 minutes to beat the whole level. That wasn't too bad. That wasn't too bad. I have another strat which is like a lot riskier. And I was like, I'm able to do it in about 2 minutes, but it's very sketchy. It's very sketchy. It actually, I might try it later. Like once I do all of the levels here, I might try it as like a little bit of a treat because it involves cupcakes. It involves cupcakes and it's kind of fun. But it's like, it takes the idea of the NPCs not being people and it takes it to an extreme because I won't spoil it. I won't spoil it. Pretty fast for a turtle. I try my best, Kimmy. I try my best. All right, let's go World of Tomorrow. So, okay, a little bit of a debrief. We have 3 targets today. Number 1 is Silvio Caruso. So, the thing is, all these people are working for a particular company, and what they're doing is developing a virus. Now, kind of topical right now, because this is supposed to be like a super virus that could potentially destroy the balance of the world. And so the idea is that we need to take out the person at the head of the organization, we need to take out the lead scientist, and we need to destroy the virus itself, because this is just like a test version of the virus, right? So the risk with this virus is that it's DNA specific, so you can code it to target specific people without actually harming anybody else. And that will come into play later. Well, actually, will come into play right now because it's, again, this one's pretty quick, but I have flubbed this one before, so I'm not 100% confident that I'll be able to do this one. The Paris mission is the only one that I'm confident with. So this is going to be a little fun. So what we're going to bring with us is we're going to bring the silenced pistol because we bring that all the time. We bring a briefcase, which allows us to hide a sniper rifle, and we're going to bring a grenade. You know, when you think of silent assassin, you know, you don't think of frag grenades. But again, I cannot state enough that the NPCs in this game are not people. That water, yes, Shanaha. The water in the Paris map was kind of muddy. But, you know, I think it's acceptable because the FPS was okay, right? It was like 30, 35, 40. That's probably good enough. All right. So we now start Sapienza. And this is actually one of my favorite levels just to explore because it's like a beautiful seaside Italian town, right? It's actually absolutely wonderful, you know? But because we're not exploring, we won't really get to see much of it. So we're going to take this grenade and then we're going to chuck it. And the hope will be that we blow up that car. Well, we got close enough. And the reason it's close enough is because these 2 guards are going to run out to investigate. So we're just going to run past them, right? Again, these NPCs aren't people. These NPCs are not people. So we just go past them and then we can sneak into the mansion where the company owner lives. And there are a couple of NPCs here. There's this one here. There's this NPC here. This guy's taking a smoker. He's taking a smoke break. So we got to wait for him to move. And then we can just go through here. Let me equip my pistol. And then we navigate our way up the stairs and get into the mansion. Right? And then so, on the way to the mansion, there is a security camera. So we do need to take it out. Because if we run in and then we get spotted by the security camera, it's all over. You know, it's all over. So we're going through the mansion. And our goal is to get inside here. I'm not sure. This is like a record room or something. And we can grab ourselves a nice little key card. And the key card will come in handy later. So we'll be going up the stairs here. See, like I've already cased out, you know, the entire map beforehand. And so I do know where most things are, right? And so we climb up here, we get onto the roof. And the reason we go through this way is because we want to shoot that fuse box. Shooting that fuse box will get one of our targets into a specific location where we can take him out later. We run across here and then we'll jam this door open with a crowbar and we can come through here and sneak in to one of the rooms. And the reason we want to do that is because there is a pirate ship here. But inside this pirate ship is a prototype of the virus that we're after. And the prototype of the virus, you know, the prototype of the virus. This is important because it's coded specifically to the DNA of one of our targets. And the target is here, this lady. So all we need to do is just chuck that down there and then she dies, right? The virus, I don't know. I've never seen a virus kill that quickly. Have you guys? Have you guys? But that virus only affects her. It doesn't affect anybody else. So we don't have to worry. So we come back down and then we go here and then we just camp here because we can see our other target is going to make his way under the planetarium and then we can just shoot it once he reaches the middle of the room and then have this land on him. So I guess you can say he is currently suffering from the weight of the world on his shoulders and he can't handle it, which is a little unfortunate. But now that we've taken out our two targets, all that's left is the virus, guys. All that's left is the virus. And then what we can do is we can use the key card that we picked up earlier to go into the underground laboratory. There's an underground lab. Let's get out the crowbar. Let's get out the crowbar. And there is a guard here. Ah, shit, he's turning around. Okay, this is fine. I'm okay with this. There we go. Bonk. And then what we can do is we can take out the rifle. Now this part is going to be a bit tricky because there's a way to do this properly or like faster, but I'm not fast. I'm a turtle, right? So just pop and then down through here, go down. And so what we can do is we rush through here. Unfortunately, there's like a guy there. And so he sometimes sees you, but he doesn't always. There's a guard, and then we just get out through the plane. We just get out through the plane, and that's this level done. Yay! I was actually a bit scared because when I was testing it out earlier, I flubbed it like 3 times in a row. So that's good that we were able to get that. Pretty fast for a turtle, exactly. Crowbar, he got bonked. He got bonked, Kimmy. It's unfortunate, but you know he had to be a guard in that part of the world. Well done, thank you, appreciate it. All right, so we've gotten that level done. So you shoot a virus, yes. So the thing is, JP, the reason why shooting it was effective is because it has to be in a specific environment to actually thrive. And by shooting the virus, we expose it and then we sort of like ruin it that way. Yeah, because it's still in development. I'm not 100% sure about how it all works. But yeah, we have our next mission, and this is called Gilded Cage. And so we have 2 more targets. The first target, so this is in Morocco. This is Marrakesh, right? So this is the capital of Morocco, I believe. The first target is Reza Zaidan. And what he is he's an army general. And our second target is Klaus Hugo Strandberg, a Swedish banker. You know, you can't trust Swedes. You know, you can't trust the Swedes. So essentially the idea here is that this guy, Klaus Hugo Strandberg, has been getting up to some very unsavory activities. And he is a corrupt banker. I mean, a corrupt banker will do what a corrupt banker does. And so what Reza Zaidan is doing is that he's trying to manipulate the situation so that the protesters in Marrakesh will overthrow the government so he can take over in a military coup. But the truth of the matter is the two of them are actually working together. So I think the specific situation was that Strandberg was being taken to court. I believe he was being taken to court to be prosecuted. And what happened was that, quote unquote, mercenaries, right? Mercenaries hit the police convoy and rescued Strandberg. And Strandberg right now is in the Swedish embassy. He's in the Swedish embassy hiding out. And so the truth of the matter is that the hit on the convoy was organized by Reza Zaydan. And then that's why he's there. But he's pretending that he's uninvolved in all of this so that he can justify a military coup once the rioters start spreading and demanding that the government shut down. So that's the premise. It's kind of funny. Like, the game is called Hitman, right? The game is called Hitman, and we're assassinating people, but the game always tries very hard to justify it to the player, so you don't feel like you're an evil person, you know? You're doing the right thing, you know? You're just doing what other people can't do, right? Oh, wait, didn't mean to take a look at that. So this one is actually pretty difficult. And the reason why this is difficult is because it works on a timer. So I tested it earlier and I wasn't able to get it properly, but it loops on a timer. So if I don't get it the first time, I can just wait for the second time to occur. And if that happens, we can just have a, you know, a little intermission Zatsudan, you know? It doesn't need to be all speed. But yeah, I will explain what I'm doing as we're going through here. I understand the reasoning fair. Yes, it is very fair, JP. It is very fair. All right, so welcome to Marrakesh 47. And you note that compared to a lot of other games, all right, so I'll explain this first and then talk a little bit more here. So one thing that really impresses me about IO, we switch the radio on to wake up the waiter, and then we switch it off right in front of him. It's not a crime. We're just being annoying, but it's not a crime. And so we're going to run through here, run through the stalls, and run through here. So what I find really impressive, oh my goodness, my controls are all over the place. What I find really impressive is how many NPCs that the game is able to fit in. You know, like there's literally hundreds in the crowd. And so the reason we wanted to wake the waiter up is because we're going to poison this dish. And this dish is going to be served directly to the general. So I don't know why they keep it out in the open. He's a general, right? He's supposed to be some sort of, you know, VIP, important person, you know, general of the army. And then they leave his dish just out in the middle of nowhere in some fucking Marrakesh back alley. I'm not sure what the justification is, but it's certainly convenient, isn't it, guys? It's certainly convenient. So once we dose his meal with these lethal pills, then he will eventually die. And we don't actually need to go and engage Reza Zaydan directly, because right now he's hiding up in like a school that's surrounded by military. And there are other ways to kill him, obviously, but you know, by doing this, we actually don't need to look for him. So we'll just go ahead and do that and poison his lunch, you know. Unfortunately, the Moroccan spice is a little too much for him to handle, you know. And so, like, look at all those NPCs. That's pretty cool. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run through here, and we're just gonna jump the wall, because again, the NPCs aren't people, so nobody notices that you just sneak into the Swedish embassy without having to worry about anything. And so there are military, there's like a military patrol here stationed in this area. So we have to do our best to navigate around them, because this is actually pretty difficult. The best way, like, you turn on the radio, and what this will do is it will get one guy to try and check it. And so what you want to do is you want to sync it up. I don't know if I synced it up, but you want to get this guy to investigate the area, because he will go the long way around at the same time that the other guy turns around. And the reason we need that is because we needed to get the key card. And so we just go, we do that, and then we can run around the long way and nobody sees you because he's got his back turned. So there we go. Nobody sees you. This part is actually pretty difficult. I think I've missed my opportunity, but it's whatever. We can hide behind there, and then we can chuck a coin over there, and that will distract these two soldiers, and then we can just run through here. Okay, yeah, we can run through there, you know, running past the pillars to break their line of sight. Because if you can, again, these guys have 0 object permanence. So if you can break their line of sight, they forget you exist. And we're gonna run through here. And again, these guys, they're not people. They're not. Oh no, they're people. They're people. They're people. They're people. No, 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 they're people. No, no, no. Oh no. Okay, okay. This is fine. This is fine. Whatever, whatever. This is fine. I'm okay with the events currently occurring. Just don't run. We got the crowbar, and then we can bonk this guy in the back of the head. Just don't run inside. Don't run inside. Don't run inside. Don't run inside. Okay. Unfortunately, that guy ran away, so I missed my initial chance. So I'm gonna have to wait. Ah! Nobody saw anything. Nobody saw anything, right? Right? You didn't see anything, right, guys? You didn't see anything, right? Right? It was like nothing happened, right? Nothing happened. Nothing happened. There we go. All right. And so nothing happened. There we go. And so because I missed my initial opportunity, we can see like Klaus Strandberg is like all the way over there. Because I missed my initial opportunity, I was too slow. What happens is that I gotta wait for him to come back, and it's actually gonna take like 5 minutes for him to come back. So how's everybody going? How's everybody going? It's stealth Zatsudan time. Surprise Zatsudan. No, but how are people going today? Oh no. Unfortunately for me, the guards found sentience today. So I'm gonna have to do something about that next time. But yeah, that's a pretty difficult thing to pull off. If you can do it faster, you can actually catch Strandberg. So what you're supposed to do is you get rid of the initial security guard who's like standing out here. And then once you bonk him, you throw a coin like into the hallway there. And then that gets Klaus Strandberg's attention. And then once you do that, you open this door and then you throw another one inside here. So he picks up the first coin and then he sees that, oh, there's another coin. And then he walks to it and picks it up here. And then you just bonk him in the back of the head after. But unfortunately, I was a little bit too slow with this. So we're going to have to wait. We're going to have to wait for like fucking 5 minutes until he comes back, and then we can do it properly. So how's everybody doing today? How's everybody doing? I hope people are doing well today and enjoying the stream. I knew that after a while we'd start to run into issues. I think this level, there's one level later that really trips me up. There's a level later that really trips me up. So you know what? Why not? Because this is going to go on for like another 3-4 minutes. So how's everybody doing oh, wait, no, you don't need to learn about caches. That comes later. But I hope people are doing well today. I've got the game on in my background, so hopefully I won't miss my shots. But the good thing is that a lot of the NPCs, particularly the targets, right? They run on an AI cycle. And what that means is that, you know, if they're doing a particular activity, they do come back to it. So Klaus will come back to where he was, and I'll be able to, you know, get to him then. But unfortunately for me, I missed out on the first opportunity because I was a little too slow. And I know that there are faster ways to engage it. But it's not that easy when you're running on like on a no GPU system. On that note, Shanaha, what APU do you have actually? If you're still in the stream, if you're still in the chat, what APU do you have, my friend? All right, I think it's still going to be like another 2 minutes, and so. Yeah, getting out is actually going to be kind of sketchy as well. I feel like, because the thing is, like, this guy's going to be on guard, you know? He knows. He has the critical information, right? And he knows that I'll eventually, you know, like, if he sees me instantly, he'll just go for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disguise myself as a Janny so he won't be suspicious of me, you know? And, you know, at the end of the day, 47 is a janitor of sorts. All right, let's get back. Let's get back because we're gaming. We're gaming. Maybe not yet. JP, my nose is irritated and running. Oh, that's unfortunate. Maybe you should go catch it. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Have you tried apologizing and running after it, JP? Have you tried that? All right, nice, nice. We're able to get the poison elimination at the same time that Klaus comes back. And so we have 2 coins and we can make use of that by chucking 1 coin out there, and then that will get Klaus in. And then if we chuck another coin like here, that should get him in here. So we'll just open this one and then we'll do another coin there. Let's try again. All right. And then what we can do is that we can just whack him. Hello. Bonk. Okay, unconscious witness. Well, I mean, he's not waking up, is he? So, there we go. My nose is irritated. Oh, right. It's full. It's fine. It's fine. So, someone will find him here eventually and look after him. But fortunately for me, that's not my problem, right? I mean, they can clean up the mess, but, you know, I'm only pretending to be a janitor. I'm not actually a janitor, right? Sinus troubles which don't heal because I go to bed too late. Oh, that's unfortunate, JP. You should sleep earlier. You should sleep earlier if you can. I know, you're too busy watching your Oshi, but, you know, you have to... no. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. I caught him at the wrong time, unfortunately. But you know what? We are going to do... Ow. We're going to do our best. We're going to do our best. And, just run, right? Run. Oh my god, they're throwing grenades. No! Weaving, ducking and weaving. Oh my goodness. They're not people. Ah, they're not people. Ah, get up there. Okay. They're not people. Oh my goodness. Oh no. You didn't see me. Oh man. Oh wow, I have to run past so many, like, soldiers too. Oh no. This went terribly wrong in just about every way that it possibly could have. It went wrong in absolutely every possible way. But you know what? Friends? You know what? Jogging at a moderate speed, right? If you ever find yourself in a situation where you're being hunted by military soldiers, by troops, by people who wish to do you harm, you know how you get out of it? You jog. You jog at a moderate pace, and that's how you too can get rid of the military. Is the Swedish guy dead? Yes, JP. Yes. So he was the guy that we baited coming into the room with the coins, and I was able to snap his neck a little quietly. There we go. Envenoming assassin. Okay, that went kind of badly. I'm not gonna lie, that went kind of badly, but I'm still okay with how it went, simply because, you know, that kind of mission is always a 50-50 for me. Like, I flubbed it in testing, so I'm not too surprised. That I had issues in actually doing it properly at the end. But you know what? It's fine. So, next is Club 27. So this is more of like a contract hit rather than a moral hit, right? This is more of a contract hit than a moral hit. And so we've been tasked to get rid of Jordan Cross and Ken Morgan. And Ken Morgan is like a New York City lawyer, like a scummy, well-connected lawyer. And Jordan Cross is like a famous musician. You know, he's a famous musician. And the reason we want to get rid of him is because our client had a daughter that was murdered by Jordan Cross, and he was defended successfully in court by Ken Morgan. And so the family realizes that they're not going to get justice for their daughter. So you know what's the next best thing? You're going to hire, you know, contract assassins to take out the people who wronged you. Because, you know, that's a natural response, right? That's a natural response. And in order to do that, we're going to travel to a wonderful Bangkok to the hotel called Club 27. Oh my goodness, why am I in a clown suit? Well, I mean, it's sort of, it is thematic, at least today, but we'll go in a smart casual suit. And the reason is because we don't want to look like too much of a clown, because the runs do all of that for me already. It does that for me already. We'll go ahead and get into this. So we'll be using our pistol, and we'll be using some coins. This is going to be sketchy as well. And we're also going to use a syringe, and I'll be explaining how the run goes for that as well. All right. So these are our 2 targets. All right. Let's go. Okay. Almost loaded up. There we go. That's a beautiful hotel. I'm not going to lie. That's a beautiful hotel. See, like... the water's not too good. Look at that water. That doesn't look too flash. But the hotel itself looks pretty good, guys. Don't you agree? The water doesn't look great, but the hotel itself looks fine. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to kill the lawyer. We're going to kill the lawyer by dropping the glass on him. So if we aim at this like glass, the lighting at a particular moment, then it will be able to crush him without getting his his bodyguard. That's the word I was looking for. And I think it's approximately like 1 minute or something like that. I don't remember. Hopefully I can get this. Bop. Wait, what? Wait, who saw me? Oh, the bodyguard saw me. Interesting. Ah, well, whatever. Ah! Oh, okay. This is fine. I'll just pretend nothing happened. I'll get him later. Oh, okay. So they are actually going to go after me, are they? Are they? Hold on. Let's see if we can pretend that nothing happened, guys. Can we pretend nothing happened? Okay, because the next thing I'm supposed to do is go out through here. And then shoot this. And that panics the 2 of them. Yeah, that panics the 2 guys there. And then so what happens is that we can come inside here. And then we can shoot this camera. And so what we need to do is we need to wait for an opportunity for all of them to leave the room. And then once all of those guys leave the room, we can sneak in through there. Because we need to go upstairs in order to get Jordan. Now, just so you guys know, I'm pretending. Now, we didn't get our first target. We didn't even get our first target. The first target was supposed to be dead by now. But I'm pretending that never happened and we can just come to him later. So, essentially what we want to wait is for that guy to fucking turn around. And if he can turn around, we'll probably be good to go. Come on. There we go. He's turned around. What? Engaging? With who? I mean, it's fine. It's fine. Bonk. I don't think people know I'm here. Huh? People don't know I'm here. I'm not here. I'm not here, guys. Alright, so we climb up this this pipe. And the idea is that we're supposed to go up to the next floor. Because our other target, Jordan Cross, is here. So, come on. Hang. And then we can climb up here. And then into the hotel area. And then we can come through here. There are 2 guys here. There are 2 NPCs here. And so what we're supposed to do is, we're supposed to get their attention and lure them one by one, right? We're supposed to get their attention and lure them one by one. And then knock them out. Right? Because there's only one guy there, right? And so... Can we get him to focus? There we go. And then so what we can do is we can knock him out. And then once we knock him out, we can drag him to the conveniently placed closet on the side here, right? And then we just do it to the other guy. And this should not be too difficult at all. Just go up, pick up the coin. So he knows that there's going to be something there. And we'll just leave the other one there. Right, we'll leave the other one there. And then we'll open the door. He's going to see the other coin. And then we can just take him out. Bang. Now, we are on a bit of a timer here, guys. We are on a bit of a timer. And the reason we're on a bit of a timer is because NPCs do come into the bathroom. You know? Like, it's a long day recording, right? It's a long day recording. And so, people, they do come into the room. Where's Jordan Cross? All right, cool. So, our target, Jordan Cross, is going to be coming through here. And that's why we have this syringe. This lethal syringe. And the whole point is that we're going to give him, we're gonna give him a dose, a fatal dose of Moderna. We're gonna give him a fatal dose of the COVID vaccine as he runs into, oh my god, no, oh my god. Whatever, bonk, just whatever. This has been so scuffed already, it doesn't really matter. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I didn't, oh my god. I didn't wait long enough. What I should have done is I should have waited. I should have waited until he goes inside the recording room. But I didn't wait. I tried to catch him, and unfortunately that led to my downfall. These guys shouldn't see me, so I should be able to just... Oh. Okay. I'm out of here. Goodbye. Goodbye. Alright, and then we get our gun again to distract. Hold on. Does that spook them? Oh, fucking whatever. Whatever. At this point... Oh, there's a camera too. Alright. Whatever. Bonk. At this point... I'm just done. I'm done. I don't care if I'm compromised anymore. I need to find Ken Morgan. Where is he? Is he still walking his route? Because if he is, I can actually kill him like the way I was meant to. And so that would be quite amusing, to be quite honest. Alright. Oh, fuck. Oh no, they know me. That's fine. These guys are all on alert. Hopefully, they won't notice me. So what I can do, potentially... Oh, shit, that guy would notice me. Fuck. Alright. How do I do this? Okay, nah, that guy's searching up there, and that guy's searching down here. Ooh, this is gonna be interesting. Alright, cool. Hugging the walls, breaking line of sight. Absolutely necessary. Right? Absolutely necessary. Okay, hold on. Oh, fuck. Okay. I'm gonna flip a coin. And hopefully that will distract his guard long enough for me to just... Oh, shit. I was gonna say, hopefully that will distract the guard long enough for me to just jab him with the thing. But apparently it doesn't. Alright. Alright, if that's the case... Okay. Let's see. Okay, if I can get him to come here, that would be ideal, actually. Okay. And then... Okay. So this is actually a little bit of a gamble. Right? Come on. No, you saw nothing. You people saw nothing. Nothing happened. No. I'm so close. Let me get out of here. Get me out of this hell. No. Oh my god. Oh no. I died. Oh, it's all over, friends. It's all over. I'll try and replay it. We'll give it another shot, right? And then if it doesn't pan out, we can skip to the next one. Because the next level is even harder. Right? Alright. Okay. I think we can get this, though. Because, like, I started off scuffed, unfortunately, but I can do this level without messing it up. Sometimes. So I hope that we can get this one. Yeah. It was a little unfortunate that that the guy's bodyguard was able to spot me. And I think that I can... Like, all I needed to do was crouch down, right? Because he saw... Like, from the perspective of the bodyguard, he saw my gun from over the guardrail. But if I actually had just crouched here and then hid behind here or something, it wouldn't have affected my ability to take the shot, but it would have ruined his line of sight to the point where he can't see me. So I think it's like there. There we go. Nice. There we go. And so that's how you're supposed to do it properly, guys. It's how you're supposed to do it properly. Okay? So now they're looking for somebody, but nobody is there. Nobody is there. And so we can come in through here. Alright. The idea was that we wait for this guy to move, because I forgot last time there's actually a camera above there. And so we need to do our best to make sure that we don't get seen by that camera, right? So I'll wait for him to turn around. And because I forgot about this last time. There is a camera up there. Pop. There we go. And then we can just go... So the point of double tapping there is to panic the gardeners so that they actually don't see you. And again, this is indicative of what I say, guys, when the NPCs in this game are not people. They are not people. Do not ever think that they are people. Because what happens is that because the gardeners are in a state of panic, they don't see you. They don't see you. It's like you don't exist. And so we're waiting for this guy to move across there, and we're waiting for that guy to turn around, as now he's stuck in conversation. So we'll move, and we can sort of like move to here, right? And then now we just need to wait for that guy to turn around. Once he turns around, we have an open way in, right? We have an open way in. Oh man, yeah, it's a little unfortunate, JP. It was a little unfortunate, but you know what? I think it's fine. I think it's fine. And the reason why I think it's fine, can we go here without getting spotted? Yes. See, wait. Yeah, see, these NPCs are not people. These NPCs are not people. Ah, fuck. Okay, maybe they're people, maybe they're people. No, they're not people, they're not people. They're not people. I'm not going to get Silent Assassin on this one, but as long as nobody wakes them up, I'm fine. These NPCs are not people, my friends. Alright, let's go up here. So, the strategy remains the same, and it actually should be, like, normally speaking, the strategy should be consistent, but I am... Huh? What? Who saw me? There's like nobody there. Ah, fuck you. You don't see me, I'm not real. I'm not real! Oh no. Oh no! Oh, fuck. Well, whatever. This is fine. I think this is fine. I just gotta wait for them to, like... pretend... I gotta wait for these guys to, like, forget I exist, you know? And if I can do that... Yeah, if they forget I exist, then I can just do my normal thing. And yes, I'm not going to get Silent Assassin, but it's not really a big deal, you know? It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Up. And getting out, it's actually going to be a little bit difficult. Getting out is going to be actually pretty difficult. Simply because, like, my exit route has sort of been covered. So I wonder if there's, like... I'm going to have to, like, explore another way to get out, you know? Another way to get out. And so, I guess... Oh, there is a cheap way to do it, actually. There's a very cheap way to do it. And you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. The cheap way of getting out is just stealing their disguise, right? The cheap way is stealing their disguise. Okay, let's see. Okay, this part of the mission hasn't been too bad, though. Because, like, the issue I used to have with this mission was that the two guys actually come at the same time. And so, oh no, I'm not even, it's whatever. It's whatever. I forgot, it's whatever. I forgot to get, there we go. Let's disguise. And then now we can just do like this normally, right? We've lost a bit of time, but it's still fine because I don't think anybody would see this, right? So he's gone, he's dead, we poisoned him, and now we can get out of here the way that we came. And the reason we can do that is because we're wearing a different shirt, my friends. We're wearing a different shirt. And what that means is that you are a completely different person, right? Like, again, the NPCs in this game have 0 object permanence. So, like, even if you are exactly the same person, they don't recognize you, right? I guess... like, this is still trespassing, so I gotta be careful not to get seen. But... I mean, it should be fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. There we go. Bam. Done. You gotta work around this guy. You gotta work around this guy, because I don't want to be... I don't want to be seen. Oh, shit. I don't want to be seen, so I'm just waiting for this guy to turn around. Can you imagine working like at a fancy hotel, right? This guy's a gardener in like a fancy hotel, and all he fucking does is like take a cigarette break. Like, come on, buddy. Buddy, get to work. Get to work. Alright, now that he's out, we're home free now. We're home free. And so that took a little bit longer than I would like. If I did the mission properly without any mistakes, I'd probably already be out by now, right? But I think that it's worth it, like, to show off the potential mistakes, right? I don't think that restarting every single time I make a mistake to get the perfect run, I don't think that's a good stream experience. Like, if I were actually a speedrunner who was, you know, decently skilled at the video game, you know, if the turtle could play the video game, maybe that's worth it. But considering that I am just a pleb who makes mistake upon mistake upon mistake, I don't think it's worth it at all. I think it's just more value to show the mistakes and show what I got wrong, you know? I think that's better. I think that's better. Okay, there we go. There we go. Nice, nice. So we were able to get that mission done in like 8 minutes or something like that. So not amazing. Not amazing. We could do better. We can and should do better. But ooh, I got some new stuff, guys. I got some new stuff. Not that I'm complaining. Not that I'm complaining. Very nice. Very nice. All right. So the next level, this level, Colorado. This is supposed to be like the most difficult one, right? All right. We don't need this. Just. And the reason this is the most difficult is because there's like 5 different targets and they're all really spread out. This one is tough. I don't think I can get this one, to be honest. There's a good chance that I'm just gonna flub it, right? And if I mess it up a couple of times, I'm just gonna skip it. I'm just gonna skip it. All right, let's get into it. Oh, I guess I should explain. So we have a whole bunch of like terrorist insurgents. We have terrorist insurgents, and we've been hired to take them out. There's 3 terrorist insurgents, and there's Klaus as well, and we'll be taking them out. All right, let's get into it. So the thing is, I'll explain later, but the way that this level is designed is actually in stark contrast to how the other Hitman levels have been designed, and I will explain in the wrap up, because there's not that many levels in this particular campaign in this game. This is actually the second last level already. All right, we can go down and we can just sneak by this guy. Our first target is I think Penelope Graves or Maya Pabadi, one of the two. And so we just need to navigate our way through here without getting caught or seen. And this isn't too difficult, right? It's not too difficult because again, the NPCs here aren't people. They're not people. And the sooner people recognize that, the easier it is. to play this game. And so what will happen is that our target is there, this red person there, the one glowing in red, and they will come across there. They will walk through here. And as they're walking, we're supposed to like launch the hay bale at them, right? We launch the hay bale and then they get crushed under the weight, you know? So, so it's unfortunately that kind of assassination. But we need to wait until about like, I think it's like 2 minutes or 1 minute something. It's like 1 minute something to 2 minutes. So currently this person, I think Maya Pavati, is like checking over some things and then we take her out. I can't even remember how to finish this level, to be honest. So this is going to be quite bad. This is going to be quite bad. All right. Now she's coming out. I'm just got to wait. There we go. Bonk. There we go. So 1 minute 56. 1 minute 56. That's the timing. Up. Now, we've taken out one of our targets. So we need to run across here. This guy's probably going to turn around at some point. I'm waiting for him to turn around. Because, like, if you're fast, you can run through there. But because of his line of sight, it makes it really, really difficult, you know? And I wasn't able to do it fast enough. Right? So that's why I waited for him. And then once he turns around, then you can run through. Again, these guys aren't people. Unlock the door here. So we have a classic lockpick. And then we're able to get through the gate. And then get to our next target. So, from memory, they're supposed to finish their conversation. I can't remember. These guys are supposed to finish their conversation. Got him? Yeah, got him, JP. Got him. Yeah, these guys are supposed to finish the conversation before he gets in. What's going on? If I attack this guy, then it's going to be super obvious, right? So, like, I can't attack him while he's doing that, right? Because, like, if I run out, then it will be super, super obvious. So, I don't know if I've missed my opportunity or if I'm okay. All right, he's turned around. We can do this. We can do this. Okay. And then the whole idea is to grab him, put him inside there. And then turn this off. And that will get the guard on the inside to be like, oh, wait, what the hell's going on? Hold on. Ah, shit. Wait, huh? Did he see me? He didn't see me, did he? Alright, whatever. I don't care if he saw me. I don't care if he saw me. It's not... Yeah, it's this one. There we go. Put him inside. And... Oh, no, okay, that was a mistake. The whole point... Hold on. Let me see. There was a gun. This guy drops a gun. And what you're supposed to do... So I must have messed this up somehow. Huh. Sorry, I'm going to use this opportunity to explore this area. Because what's supposed to happen is that the first guy, he drops a gun. And then by going out here, we're supposed to place the gun here. And then what will happen is that the guy who came to check the electric, he takes the gun away. And then that's how you're supposed to... He takes the gun away, and then that's how, like, you're supposed to get out of there without getting seen. Maybe they changed it after a patch. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, we'll try again. We'll try again. We'll try one more time. Right? We'll give it a second chance, because you give everything a second chance. And if it doesn't work, then we'll just go ahead and skip to the next one, right? Skip to the next one. All right. Oh, shit. Let's end that one. And then let's start. I keep forgetting to process my frames properly. Apologies for that, friends. All right. This guy's coming out. I mean, we got to wait for him to turn around. Yep. It's turned around. Go through here. And this is still pretty straightforward. Like, up to that point, I was doing fine. I didn't have any issues. Maybe I just need to pick up another weapon to ensure that that doesn't happen. I'm not 100% sure. But, it should be fine. The van should break the line of sight. I don't know. Anyway, we'll just wait. And we'll do this. So we're here a little bit early. We're here quicker than last time. So what that means is that we just need to wait and chill. Because we determined last time it was like 1 minute 56. And that was... Oh, am I still sad? I didn't mean to be sad. Apologies. So we can go ahead and just wait. Right? Just wait. And it should be fine. Alright. So the whole idea is just to wait for this person to come out and then get them. But this level is actually notoriously difficult. Once, like if we mess up again, I'll go through it. I'll go through it later. But yeah, there's just a little bit of waiting at the moment. But yes, JP, we did get him last time. Unfortunately, it all came to naught. It all came to naught. 6 up. Up. Too early this time. Oh my god. Oh, whatever. Too early, so it's not 100% based on time. Okay, that was my fault then. If that's the case, you know what? Fine. Fine. If that's how you're gonna play it, fine. Oh my god, this is actually really difficult. Okay. We're not doing that anymore. I will say that at this particular resolution and setting, it is not easy, friends. It is absolutely not easy to play like with this frame rate. This frame rate is really difficult for like precision aiming and all of that, just because it's like 30, 35. So we failed. We failed, my friends. We tried so hard and we got so far, but in the end, it didn't really matter, So we're just gonna skip it. Because Hitman 3, the Hitman 3 client, is so gracious. To allow us all of these different missions in the one client. See, Hitman 2, and then the Hitman 3. It's all in the one client, so we can play the entire series all at once. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the final mission of Hitman 1. And it will just be a secret between you and me, chat. Just a secret between you and me. If anybody asks, I beat the whole game, right? I beat the whole game. I didn't skip any levels because I kept messing it up, right? It's just a secret between you and me, right? I mean, you're here watching, I'm here playing, and you saw me beat the whole game. You saw me beat every level. You didn't see me mess up and fail multiple times, right? Good. I'm glad that misunderstanding is out of the way. Alright, so now the context for this final mission, like it goes back to like the main story here. So what we've found out is that our organization, the ICA, like International Contract Assassins Organization or whatever, the ICA has a mole. They have a breach. Somebody on the board has been doing things that run contrary to what we're supposed to be doing. They're taking rogue contracts. And the person on the board who's doing that is Mr. Eric Sodas. And the reason he's doing that is because he's sick. And we need to kill him. He betrayed our organization because he wants to live. He's getting a heart transplant in this fancy, beautiful resort in Hokkaido, Japan. And the whole idea is that we're supposed to deny him that heart because he ought to know what happens when you mess with the ICA. And this person, Yuki Yamazaki, I mean, she's a lawyer, right? She's a lawyer. To even this point, I really don't know why. I don't know why we're going after her, but I mean, it's part of like the grander plan, right? It's the grander plan. Maybe she insulted our Oshi, or maybe she insulted our Oshi, right? And she called her some unsavory names, and that's why we're going after her. You know? I don't know. But what I do know is that Eric Soda's betrayed the ICA, and that's why he needs to die. As for Yuki Yamazaki, I don't know. It's because she's part of a rival faction. So, Hokkaido, Japan. State-of-the-art hospital facility and resort. We have 2 targets, Eric Sodas and Yuki Yamazaki. So, with that said, let's get into it. Alright. Finally. She overlapped my Oshi's costume reveal. Yeah, I know, right? Can you imagine? Can you imagine the balls? The balls on this woman to overlap, you know? To stream while my Oshi is streaming. It's her costume reveal. She's waited for 6 months. Oh my god, okay. So, we go through here, and this is just like the open area. We don't have any items on us. So, yeah. Just as a little... Oh, fuck. I'll capture once we're done. So just as a little reminder, we don't have any items on us. And the reason why we don't have any items is because we have booked ourselves in as a patient of this hospital. And the idea is that, you know, we don't bring guns because we're a resident of this hospital. So we need to find a way to kill our targets without using weapons. And that's what we've done here. Once I unpause this, I'll do the capture of the frames. All right. And so what we need to do is we need to make our way down these pipes and get ourselves into a deeper part of the facility. So if we can make our way through here, we can get our way to Eric Soda's. There's a conveniently placed mind control device placed there. And so we need to make our way to where all of the patients and the doctors are. There's the morgue here, and there's a couple of doctors, so we just need to stay out of their way and make sure that they don't find us. And we make our way over here, right? This is still the mortuary, and there's another doctor here, right? And so once we press the button, he has a few visions. He's going to talk to the other doctor about his visions, right? And so what's going to happen is that he will access this room. You can see there's 2 guards there, and he will usher out the guards. And that's important. That's important because the guards are protecting the heart of our target. Now, if we remember, Eric Soda's is there specifically because he needs a new heart. Don't see me. Oh, fuck. Really? Oh, I don't want to have to do this level again. Okay, whatever. Whatever. Out of my way! Oh my god. Okay. So unfortunately, I did fuck that up. Let's try again. And this will be our second time. I'm surprised I messed that up. I usually don't. I guess I got a little bit too nervous. As you know, I got a little bit too nervous. My Oshi's having a 3D stream right after this, and I couldn't contain myself. No, I'm joking. But unfortunately, we will try again. Because I wasn't going to get out of that one alive, just because there were so many guards. But the strat is still the same. The whole idea was that I shouldn't have been seen by the doctor there, and I think that was just a little bit of bad placement. So we can actually see like how not picture perfect, but like, you know, what do I want to say? I'm like losing my words now. My brain is melting. The room for error, that's what I want to say. The room for error involved in these strats is actually pretty tight. right? So there's like a really, really good chance that if you mess one thing up, it sort of spirals out of control. And that is definitely a part of like the game here. And that's definitely a part of like high level play. So if you want to attempt, you know, not necessarily speed runs, because this isn't speed running, guys. This is turtle jogging. This is turtle jogging. I'm a little bit slow. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. But if you want to attempt these like risky strats and then beat the levels in 5 minutes instead of, you know, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 1 hour, then what tends to happen is that if you make one mistake, it spirals all out of control. It spirals out of control. And so that's the idea. All right. So here we go. So what he's going to do, now we move to here. He's going to usher these guards out, and then they're going to run out. And then the moment that they run out, we're going to try and take advantage of the door opening, right? Okay. And we're going to sneak through. And while the doctor is having his little moment with the heart, we're going to subdue him and then stuff him in the closet. You know why? You know why we're going to stuff him in the closet? Because he's a lab coat. And that's what lab coats get. All right. So now we go. And then we unleash the heart. And by unlocking this heart, we can go ahead and take it out and chuck it in the bin where it belongs. Because Agent 47, he's a trained killer. You could even say that he's a heartless individual. There we go. But so now that we've done that, we've ensured that Eric Sodas won't be getting his heart transplant. And if he's not getting his heart transplant, then he's not going to survive. So we don't need to touch him. Like, he's just going to die naturally. And so we need to go for our next target, which is Yuki Yamazaki. This lady who is shit-talking our Oshi. And we will get rid of her in a very amusing way. Right? In a very amusing way. What's going to happen here is we're going to increase the heat on this sauna. You know? These guys, they won't be able to handle it. They won't be able to handle it. And what happens is that they run out of the room. While that happens, Yuki Yamazaki will come in and have a little, you know, dip in the sauna just to relax and that sort of thing. And we're going to keep her in there, right? You know, she enjoys the sauna. Well, you can enjoy that sauna forever, Yuki. You can enjoy it forever. Because that's what you get for saying nasty things about my Oshi. Yo, stuff that nerd into the locker? That pun? Yes, JP. Yes. I thought hard and long about that pun. I'm glad you liked it. See, the guard goes out, right? Because he understands. He understands that, you know, Yuki wants a little bit of privacy. So you know what? We're gonna... We're gonna have a little bit of fun here. And ensure that her sauna lasts a lifetime. You know, you don't get to what? And so, now that we've taken care of both of them, all we need to do now is leave. Right? Right, guys? So, we kill the target, and I'm not going to elaborate, and I'm just going to leave. And that's the level. And that's the game. Right? That is Hitman, the campaign. At least the first game. And there are 3 campaigns here. Right? Hitman 1, Hitman 2, Hitman 3. But thankfully, we're at least able to do one campaign. Remember, guys? Like we did all of Hitman 1, right? We did the entire campaign. We didn't leave any levels out. We didn't make any mistakes. We didn't need to restart. We completed the whole of Hitman 1. And I'm sure you guys will agree. Alright. So, since we have finished all of Hitman 1, the next thing I want to do... So thank you for coming so far. I really do appreciate it. The next thing I want to do is we'll go here into... Wait. Is it the Zatsu? No, it's not, is it? I think it's here. There we go. So what I want to do is go over some of the data. Oh, shit. Yeah. I want to go over some of the data that we were able to record. And so, we can get an idea and an estimation of like how good the performance has been, right? And so let's start with the first Hitman level, which is Paris. And you can see there's like a background, it's like of the Paris level, but it's so taken up by my screen so you can't even see it. But that's Paris. That is Paris, my friends. And so we'll go back to the main menu and we'll pull out, oh no. Ah, jeez. Oh, that's why that's happening. Okay. Sorry. We'll go to the main menu and then we will go ahead and get our benchmarking data up. So we can see here, CX. There we go. This is like the different, here we go. This is the data that we have, for Paris, right? And so this looks like a very complicated kind of thing. You're thinking, what the heck is that all supposed to mean? Well, I'm going to tell you what it means, guys. I'm going to tell you what it means. So we can see here, we have recording time at the bottom, and then we have FPS here. So, like, what is this? Like the X-axis and then the Y-axis. So what this means is that this is a line graph. This is a line graph going over our performance for Paris. And so we can see here that we average just under 40 FPS. However, there are a few caveats to that. And so the first caveat is that, the average is 38. But we can see here, look at this one. This is above 60. Like, this portion above here. This is like above 60. I don't know if you guys can see. Can you guys read this okay? I'm not 100% sure. Is this clear on stream? Are you able to read the numbers? Because if not, I can try and fix it up a little bit. And make it a bit bigger so that it is more visible. But let me know. Can you actually see this on the stream? Is this all right? Is this all right, guys? The main thing to understand is that even though the average is 38 FPS, it's skewed, to one side because of high peaks and skewed to the other side by lows. And so when we say average, that doesn't necessarily mean 38. So what we have here is, hold on. Oh, right. I'm using the wrong mouse for this. I get confused. So we have here, it's not just average. I think median's probably not that good. If we can go to like the 99th percentile, 5 percentile, median. That's not too bad, actually. So it is mostly at 38. Okay. But then we see here, guys, that it jumps, right? Like the frame rate is relatively smooth, but it jumps, right? It jumps from 30 to 50. And then, it has like the in-between at 38. And so if we can find, what's the one that I'm looking for? Where's the frame time? Additional graphs. No, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for variances. Hold on a second. No, that's not what I'm looking for. So that's not bad, actually. That's actually not bad at all. That turned out better than I thought it would. So what I mean by all of that is that here we can see the average is 38. And the bottom 1%, is 28, and then the absolute minimum is 12. So what do those terms mean? So the average is pretty obvious. You take all of the frame data, the FPS data, and then you just average it over the course of the time that you've been recording. And so we can see there's like the direct line here, and then that averages out to be 38, with times that are below 38 and times that are above 38, right? But then we see here there's something called P1. And what does P1 mean? P1 refers to the first percentile. So that refers to like the bottom 1% of frames for that specific second. All right. And so the reason that that's important, the reason that this is important, we have frame times here. The reason that that's important is because, the reason that this is important is simply because by seeing what
the minimum percentiles are, so 1 percentile, 5 percentile, 0.1, we can determine if there are a whole bunch of stuttering going on, because it takes all the frame data. Let's see if we can get paint up here. I can probably explain it with this. This is still fine. It takes all the frame data and it will demonstrate, it will spit out a number that correlates with the bottom 1% of frame data. And that's important because if your 1% of frame data is very low, so it's significantly lower than the average, then that indicates that you're actually suffering from a lot of stuttering. And so even though I'm not used to this low FPS, I think you were able to see it, that the overall experience of the stream was fairly smooth, right? It was fairly smooth, and we can see that here in this particular graph. We can see that the smooth portion is 99. Oh shit. We can see here that the smooth part is 99.7%. And so what that means is that the frame rates were fairly consistent. And we didn't have a lot of stuttering. So, like my brain, the overall frame rates for that particular level was quite smooth. Alright, so it seemed smooth enough. Yes. And I believe that like everything that we saw sort of correlated and sort of supports that too, right? So let's go to the next level. And the next level is Italy, Sapienza. And we can see here, very consistent as well. So the average is 37.8, and then the P1, so the the first percentile, 1 percentile, is 26.8. So that's a little bit lower because the first percentile in Paris, the first percentile in Paris was at 28.3, but it's still relatively close. And I think what was important here, it's difficult to note, but we can see here, right? There's like a big drop. There's a couple of big drops. So, but this one here is probably the noticeable one, right? This one's probably the noticeable drop. And I'm pretty sure that this particular drop in FPS correlates to when I went to the underground lab, right? If you guys remember, there's like an underground lab where we destroyed the virus. And that probably just means, right? That it depends on how like the Hitman levels load the game. So what that means is that there's a lot of verticality in what we were doing in this game. And so the game has a huge draw distance as well, because you have to have the highlighting mechanic and stuff. And so these drops probably correlate when the game loads a new section in the background and it stutters for like half a second, or like it's a low FPS sort of thing for like a moment of a second as it loads everything in from the memory. And if you're using a Ryzen based system, there is a way, like you can't get rid of it 100%, but there is a way to address some of these frame drops. And so let's go paint. Let's go to paint. And so what I will talk about is like the caching stuff, because let's wipe this over and then re-explain. Oh wait, wrong mouse. Sorry. Re-explain how like the caching stuff works. And so let's say, for example, you have the computer. This is the CPU. Let's just put that there. Right. All right. So you have a computer, and then what you have is different levels of cache. So that pulls in things from the memory. And so what we have is, let's just say like that, and then like that. All right. And so this is like the design. This isn't exact. Please don't think that this is exact, but this is the kind of idea that we're working with. So whenever you need to pull something from memory, the CPU will always attempt to go for the L1 cache first, right? Because this is the closest to the core of the CPU. Let's just, I've done the drawing badly, but let's just say this is the CPU, and then this is like the core of the CPU, this little circle there. By drawing from level 1 cache, it's able to do it very, very quickly because it's so close, right? And then what happens is that if it can't find what it needs in the L1 cache, then it will move to the L2 cache, right? And then after that, it will move to the L3 cache if it can't find anything in there as well. I'm pretty sure you guys get the idea here, right? This is the general idea. Like the CPU will save certain instructions and certain things, certain instructions and certain sets of data inside the memory, and it will do it in the cache system. So you'll have an L1 cache, and then once that fills up, and then you can no longer store anything in the L1 cache, when it puts in new things, it dumps, the older things into the L2 cache, right? And then the L2 cache has the same system, and then it will dump things out into the L3 cache. And then once they're ejected from the L3 cache, then it has to go out to here. And what is here? This is memory. This is the system memory. This is the RAM, guys. System memory. And then as we can see, and then obviously there's also GPU memory, but that's sort of separate, but kind of similar. GPU memory. And then, hold on, let's see, memory. And so it's obvious, right? It should be obvious, at least to anybody, if you're, it's like a logical connection, right? So the fastest things will be pulled from L1 cache, and then it gets deposited into L2 cache, and then L3 cache, and then if it leaves L3 cache, it needs to be pulled out from the system memory, aka your RAM. And so whenever you need to pull out something from the RAM because it's not in the cache, then it has to travel that distance, right, guys? It has to travel that distance from a separate piece or from a separate part of your system into the CPU so that the CPU can acknowledge that instruction and then act on it. And this is particularly important. This is particularly important for the AMD APU. AMD APU, and this one is the 5600G. Why is that important for AMD APUs? The reason why this is important for the AMD APUs is because these CPUs or these APUs have half of the cache that the normal CPUs have to accommodate integrated graphics. That's why. And that's something I brought up earlier, right? That's something I brought up towards the start of the stream. That they have half of the cache that a normal AMD CPU has in order to accommodate integrated graphics. So what that means is that more often than not, or more often than a normal AMD CPU or an Intel CPU, they will need to pull data from system memory. And because of this, right, because it needs to travel this distance, it is slower, right? It's a lot slower. And again, I talked about it earlier, but this comes to about 10 to 15% performance difference. It's not 100% because of the cache, but maybe half of it is because of the cache, right? And so this is also why APUs benefit especially from RAM overclocking. So this is probably if you're not familiar with tech in general, then you might not be fully aware, but it is sort of a meme in the tech enthusiast community that the APUs from AMD benefit especially well from RAM overclocking. And the reason for that is because in a lot of cases, this connection here is a bottleneck, is slowing the CPU down. The rest of the CPU can't do what it needs to do until it gets the system, until it gets what it needs from the system memory. And that's why APUs, that's terrible. That's a terrible circle. APUs especially benefit from RAM overclocking because if you can make the system RAM, system memory faster, then the entire system as a result goes faster. And so I don't know how much of a difference it would make, but I would be interested sometime in the future. I would be interested sometime in the future to overclock the RAM and see what kind of an impact it has on the FPS, right? Because we see here, you know, we have about 38, you know, on average, 38 FPS, average FPS, and then it peaks at like, you know, it peaks at like 50, 60, but then it has dips down below 30. And so my impression would be that by overclocking the RAM, you know, because of all of this, what would happen is that the low side of the FPS would go up. So instead of below 30, it might go to 32, 33, 34, 35. And as a result, the overall average goes up. You know, that's how I think it will work. I don't have any proof yet because I've yet to try it, but it is something to keep in mind for anybody who wishes to use an APU, especially. So I don't know if Shanaha is still in here, but if he is still in here, it is something to keep in mind that you may see some positive results from overclocking your RAM if it is possible. Even if you don't overclock anything else, you know, even if you don't overclock anything else, you may see some good results just by overclocking the RAM. And that's at least my impression, based on how the architecture works. I think it should pan out for maybe like a 10% performance increase. And so you might say to yourself, 10% is nothing, Toru. 10% is pitiful. It's minuscule. But you know what? Friends? 10% as a free performance boost, I think that's important. You know, I think that's good. And another thing we'll find out, I didn't mean to do that. Another thing we'll find out, actually, wait, before we do this, let's look over the results for the other levels to see if it matches, if it's roughly in line. Because if we can say to ourselves that Hitman roughly runs at 35 to 40 FPS average at 1080p low settings, then I will say that it's playable. It's playable. Because remember, we did every level. And I did it in about an hour and a half. So that's not too bad at all. That's not a bad gaming session. Let's check Marrakesh. Wrong mouse. Marrakesh. Ooh, wait. Oh, okay. So you might say to yourself, Toru, Marrakesh is at 48.5. What's going on here? Why is this so high in comparison? Well, my friends, if we remember, the reason this is so high, actually, maybe not. I was going to say the reason why this is so high is because I was waiting in that room for like 10 minutes. Wait. Marrakesh, right? Yeah. Because I was waiting in that room for like 10 fucking minutes. That's why. That's why it was so high. We can see here, like, from this point onwards, right? From about this point onwards, I was just waiting in the room, waiting for my target to come back in. And so this is an example of where having knowledge of what you're doing in the game, impacts the results, right? It impacts the results. Because if I were to tell someone, oh, I played Marrakesh, Hitman, and we were able to get 48 FPS average, that's really disingenuous. You know, that's really disingenuous. Because a lot of that time was spent in a waiting room where not much was happening. And if not much is happening, you know, you can see all these peaks to 60 and all of that stuff. But since nothing was happening, then of course the FPS would be boosted. And so that paints like a very dishonest image of what the game actually is like, you know? And so I'm glad that we're able to capture this kind of data, because we can take a look. Like a lot of programs will just output like an average FPS, and a lot of people benchmarking will just output a lot of FPS. I don't know if you guys have seen a lot of benchmark videos on YouTube. Depending on who's the one doing the benchmarking, you get a lot of videos that just spit out an average number, right? They just spit out an average number and they don't tell you the context of why the number is what it is. And having this sort of frame data is really important so that you can understand the context. Because we saw with the other levels, the average FPS is like 37, 38. And here it's almost 50. Here it's 48.5. And this is why. Because we spent a lot of the time waiting in the janitor's room, waiting for our target to come back. So that is Marrakesh And then this was Bangkok, I think. We have 2 Bangkoks, right? Here we go. Nice. And so this is at 35. And we can see now, hold on. 26. Yeah, we can see now at Bangkok, right? I should be changing the backgrounds. We can see with Bangkok that the FPS does start to dip a little bit, right? The FPS does start to dip a little bit. We can see it's gone down to 35, which isn't a huge difference. And the number 1 percentiles have gone down to 24, right? So that doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot, but it does sort of push the edge on what is acceptable FPS. Because if we take a look here, right, there's a significant amount of the game that actually happens below 30 FPS. And for me personally, like, again, this is not the stance of everybody, but for me personally, I would consider 30 FPS to be the minimum playable frame rate. If you're going at below 30 FPS, I would say that that's not good enough. You know, that's not good enough. So we can see with Bangkok, it gets a little bit lower. And part of that, again, has to do with how the game is loaded. Because I highly suspect that the game loads portions and cells and sections based on, like, it has, you know, like a horizontal, like a wide out space, but it's also based on verticality. So we'll find with levels that have way more verticality to sort of struggle. And all of the levels so far do have verticality, don't get me wrong. But I feel like Bangkok has a lot of verticality in comparison to the others. And so I think Colorado will be low FPS as well. I don't know. Like, Colorado doesn't have a lot of vertical FPS. A lot of vertical leveling, but it may have issues in terms of, like, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things that you need to render. But this is Colorado, and we can see here, yeah, well, we can see Colorado. Wait, this is Colorado V2. Yeah, this is Colorado V2. And we can see here that this is a little bit better, right? We can see here this is a little bit better. It's gone back up to 36. It's gone back up to 36. And P1, so the first percentile, is at 28. And most importantly, if you take a look at the frame rates, the frame data, very little of the very little of the run was below 30 FPS. And so I think that sort of justifies, not necessarily justifies, but like that sort of goes to show that, you know, a lot of the lower frame rates comes from also rendering vertically in the background, you know, like how the game loads in. So it doesn't just load in a section, you know, around you, it also loads vertically. And so with Colorado, that doesn't have a lot of verticality. You know, it's still a large level, but it doesn't have a lot of verticality. We can see that the frame rate performance, specifically with the low side of FPS, is actually a lot better. So even though the average is at 36, most of the run is above 30. And that's really, you know, that's really important, because if you want to play the game, you want to be above 30 as much as possible. You know, below 30, that's at the point where it's, you know, like, I wouldn't recommend it. Like, 30 is the absolute minimum. And so it's not enough to have an average over 30, because as we can see here with Bangkok, you know, this one here, like, this one was a bit better actually. But as we can see with Bangkok, like, the average is still above 30. In fact, it's only 35, right? 35 versus 36, it's almost identical. But we can see P1 is at 24, and we can see how many frames are actually below. How many frames are actually below 30 FPS? And we can see that's actually a significant difference in the quality of the game. So that this is why this kind of data is really important. It's important to analyze this sort of data so that you can pinpoint, you know, what the game really hammers. So we've figured out that the verticality is a reason for, like, the frame drops, because it has to render more than one level at a time, you know, in terms of floors. But it's also important because it helps contextualize our numbers. It's not enough just to have big numbers. It's all, you know, you also need to understand why the numbers are what they are. And that's what we're doing here, guys. That's what we're doing here. We are exploring and understanding why the numbers are what they are. And so we go to our final level, which is Hokkaido. Hokkaido. And we can see here too that, you know, Hokkaido still has vertical elements, but it's not that vertical compared to like Bangkok, because you can see the big hotel in Bangkok. And there's not a lot. There's not a lot of the game. There's not a lot of the run that actually goes below 30 FPS. We can see here it goes to 43. And then you might say, oh, Toru, 43 FPS. This was really good. Actually, no. Actually, no. The reason why it's at 43 is because of this massive spike at the end. And the reason why there was a massive spike was, I think, because I flubbed my recording. So it recorded part of the menu too. And so when the menu is going up like 95 FPS, you know, it works its way into the average. So if we remove these sort of outliers, then the actual average is a lot lower. So I would say like it would probably be like in the 40 range. It would probably be at about 40. Which, don't get me wrong, is still pretty good, because again, the whole idea is not to get as, you know, not to get super high FPS, but to get consistent FPS above 30, which I think that we were able to do today. I'm really happy with that. I think that we've done a really good job today, and, you know, we've explored and we understand how all of this comes together. So I'm really happy that we were able to do this, and I don't know if there's like a whole lot more to talk about. Oh, right. I did promise I'm going to try a faster and more dangerous strat, right? And I can do that. I can do that for... I can go ahead and do that for Paris. So let's go back into it. Let's go back into the game, and then we'll do like one more level before we hop off. Because I think that we were able to accomplish what we set out to do, right? And so, you know, I'm pretty happy with that. And if we take a look at like the frame data, I think that it's fairly obvious. To me personally, I think that it's fairly obvious that this game is actually good enough, right? I mean, you all saw it, right? This game can be playable. It can be played. And I have no issues with recommending this particular setup for, you know, this particular workload. And it's not going to be the same with every game. But that's why we're investigating this particular outcome, right, guys? That's why we're investigating this particular outcome. So the super stealth strat, or the super fast strat rather, that I was thinking of is one where you take out Novikov. You take out Novikov like immediately, right? So what I did before was I waited and I utilized the fireworks to get my targets into the same position. But what I'm going to do this time is I'm actually just going to... Hold on, let's see if this will... What I'm going to do this time, right, is just YOLO it, right? We're going to try... Can we do it? We're going to try and take out our target in the midst of a crowded room, and we're going to try and do it without getting detected. So let's give it a shot. I don't think this will work. This like never works, but we'll give it a shot, right? We'll give it a shot. All right. Because if we can do it, you know, we can actually shave a lot of time. Because my previous run took like 4 to 5 minutes. And this run, if it works, cuts it in half. And the reason why I like this run is because you use cupcakes. And cupcakes are awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to aim this at the wall there. And what that will do is that will distract Novikov's bodyguard. And so once we've distracted his bodyguard, we're just going to hide here in the corner. We hide here in the corner. We're going to try hide here in the corner. Oh, it's too late. I don't think this will work. Oh, whoa, it worked. Oh, wow. How did nobody see this? I'm in the middle of a crowded room with like 20 million people. It worked. Let's go. All right. So by doing that, we're able to eliminate Novikov without waiting or without needing to go and get like the fireworks trigger happening. And so now what we can do is we can make our way onto the tarmac where the helicopter was, and then snipe at what's her name? Snipe at Dalia Morgolis from a distance. So what we'll do first here is get to this spot and shoot that a couple of times to force the guard to take a look there. Because if he takes a look there, then he's not going to turn around and spot us. And so what we can do is we can just camp outside here. Right. And then Dahlia Morghulis is over there. She's going to walk through there. And so the whole idea is to sort of hit this from like fucking a million miles away while she's under it. There we go. There we go. We got it. We got it. Okay, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect. I missed a shot, but we got it. Yes, we got it. There we go. That's a ballsy strat. That is actually how you're supposed to do it properly, guys. That's how you're supposed to do it if you're actually trying to speed run and stuff like that. That's the kind of strats that you would do. Just really, really ballsy strats when when you disregard the NPCs and you recognize that the NPCs are not people. They're not people, guys. There we go. I'm happy. That was hype. That was hype. There we go. 2 minutes and 6 seconds. As you can see, it's actually not my best time because I've done it faster. But hey, I'm on the global leaderboards with that run. That's pretty cool. Hey, that's pretty good. Nice. Nice. I'm really happy with that. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to the Zatsu. We're going to have a little bit of a chat and just to wrap things up, because I know that we could probably go a bit longer with the stream and stuff like that, but I don't know if you guys could tell my voice is like dying. Let's go. My voice is like not doing so well. So I'm going to look for someone to raid in the meantime, and we'll see if we can go ahead and let's see. All right. I think I know who to raid. We can raid How to Fix. He's done a few. He's like the opposite to me. I stream for like 2 hours and my voice is dead. How to Fix streams like a full 24 hours and he's good to go. You know, like he does some real endurance streams. Unfortunately, I don't have that capacity. So yeah, I'm gonna finish up the stream now, guys. I really do appreciate everybody who came along. Really do appreciate your presence. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I tried my best. You know, and we beat all the levels, right? We beat all the levels. We beat all the levels. So yeah, I want to thank you guys for coming along. I really appreciate it. I'll release a schedule for next week, probably tomorrow or maybe Monday. We'll see how we go. But the intent is to do a stream like this every once in a while, right? Every once in a while. So maybe every 1 to 2 weeks. And I do know that the demo for Monster Hunter Rise is coming out, right? It's coming out in the next week. So I think that will be the next game that I will be doing, right? So yeah, again, guys, I want to give my thanks to everybody who dropped by, whether it was for 1 second or for the whole thing. From Toru to you, thank you. We'll be rating, how do you spell it? Okay, we'll be rating How to Fix, and he's currently playing Dead Space 3. So, again, from Toru to you, thank you. I hope you take care of yourselves, my friends. I really appreciate you being here. Take care, and I hope to see you around next time.